Hello everyone. I'm Blaine Childress, and today I'm going to be presenting to you the shots of Mr. Plunger's crappy day. Um, this is for my IB film class, and I hope you enjoy. So let's move on to the first shot. The first shot is an extreme long shot. Now, here, what I was wanting to you know, tell the audience of this supposed short is I wanted to introduce you into the world of Mr. Plunger, who you can see right there. It's very small, but I wanted you to introduce you to the setting of this entire short, which is his house. And so in doing this, I wanted to, zoom back, show his house and, the trees, the environment, the suburban environment that he lives in. The next shot is a long shot. Here we see all of Mr. Plunger, who is trying to get inside his house so he can take a nap. Um, and the reason why I shot it like this is because Mr. Plunger isn't very tall at all, so most of the shots with him are either close-up or long shots. So I wanted to have this sort of really low shot to the ground of him trying to open his door to get into his house. And that's why I had, showing his entire body. And this next shot is him going to sleep. Here we have a close-up where you can see his like neck area, and then this is his face. And usually a lot of people sleeping shots are shot exactly like this, but I wanted to shoot it like this because Mr. Plunger is a plunger, so I'm doing the thing that a lot of people do with movies. But yeah, I just did a close-up because I don't know, I would want to do a long shot for sleeping. Um, Next shot here is a big close-up. Here we can see a little bit of Mr. Plunger's neck and his entire face. And the reason behind this is I want you to have a personal connection with Mr. Plunger. So, you can see the specks on his pillow. You can see all of his imperfections within his face, like a couple of white spots. That's the main important thing with a shot is that personal connection that you can feel with him. In this next shot, we have what I believe to be a medium close-up that is over the shoulder. And here we can see what Mr. Plunger does in his day-to-day activities, which, if you can read that, it says, how to plunge toilet. Step 1, plunge. Step 2, done, and then a smiley face. Here we can see what he does on a daily basis. He constantly teaches himself every single day how he can do his job. What he works so hard to accomplish every single day that he's alive. Um, that's just because he's so passionate about what he does. Um, so here we just understand more about his life and what makes him happy. Here we have a close-up where we can notice that we can see now one thing I have been trying to figure out is I've been describing this as his neck and then this as his head. And you might be asking the question, well, if that's his head, then why are in these shots is he, you know, is that like his legs? Is that what you're telling us? You know what? You're probably right. But sometimes you got to work with what you have. So here we have a close-up of a threatening figure grabbing Mr. Plunger's, I guess, legs. And here we can see like the features of his hands and his like hairy arm and the gray shirt. The reason I did a close-up is because I didn't want you to see all of the threatening figure. I wanted you to just see his hand, at least in this shot. So it's mysterious. Like, oh my God, who wants to hurt innocent Mr. Plunger? But in the next shot, we see this threatening figure in this long shot where we can see the entire figure of the man who he has all of Mr. Plunger. He's grabbed onto him. And you can see how demented of a person he is from his face. He's got his tongue out. He looks like a maniac. He's got these like Adidas shoes. He looks like a crazy person. And I filmed it in a way that was somewhat symmetrical, so to where the body would be near the third in the middle. The rule of thirds and all that. And I wanted it to be far away so you could get every single detail of Mr. Plunger's bathroom. And in this next shot, we have an extreme close-up of the threatening figure's face. We can see all of, just like with the close-up when Mr. Plunger was sleeping, you can notice all the imperfections of the face. Here we have the nose, here we have the eyes, and there's like spots all over, there's some white stuff, and you can see how maniacal his eyes look when he's trying to hurt Mr. Plunger. And here I did an extreme close up because I wanted you to see the person that wants to hurt Mr. Plunger, all of his, you know, inner problems and how he looks and that kind of a thing. Because in the other shots, you really couldn't see much apart from his hand, his body, and now we can see up close and personal his face. And now with the final shot, we have a big close up, and we can see that the threatening figure is plunging him in the toilet and thus basically drowning him to death. Um, a small detail that you might not notice is that there is actually another plunger. So this leaves the ending completely open. What if this guy actually owns the house and Mr. Plunger is the plunger that he usually uses? But he wasn't doing a good job, so he bought a new one. And so, thus, because he bought a new one, he is murdering his old plunger to make sure that, this is the only one he has. There's a lot of things you can come up with. Maybe Mr. Plunger lives in the house, and there's just some random guy that came in and decided to pretend he was killing a plunger or something. There's a lot of open endings you could go with, but right now all I've got is, you know, the fact that this guy lives here and Mr. Plunger is his plunger. Well, that's all the shots that I have for Mr. Plunger's crappy day. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this. Um, I hope this project works out. Uh, but bye.